Hello everybody, welcome to the Signal Box today. Hello and welcome to you all, wherever you're watching from. Nice to have you with me today and thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons and we'll crack on with today's video. So in front of us we've got Merlin, the recent A4 that I weathered using Humbrol weathering products. And I had a little bit of trouble with this earlier today because I had the layout set up really early this morning. Everything in place, wired up, connected up, ready to go. And hey presto, she didn't move on the track. And what I found out was, to my shock and horror, that the plug and play cable connection clip and plug from the tender to the loco had actually got two of the wires in the wrong sequence. So when you bench test it and you apply power to the tender, it works, but when you actually put it physically on a piece of track and power it up, because the driving wheels are making contact with the rails, which they should, because of the way the wiring was situated in terms of the way it was wired up, it was creating a short. So I had to basically remove the body, desolder everything, and then rewire it in the right order. So that took me a little bit of time this morning and didn't obviously help with the time allocation of running trains today. However, I did take out my frustrations on the model further by adding some more weathering effects. I used some Humbrol gloss varnish as opposed to Humbrol clear. I had a tinlet of it in my paint box I'd never used for a couple of years, and I thought let's crack it open and see what it's like. And perfect. So what I've done here, I've added a little bit of condensation from the safety valves lifting on top of the cab roof there, and you can't see it too well, but those washout plugs which are directly in front of the fireman's window there, I've added some gloss varnish, again just a little bit running down that as a streak of condensation water and rainwater mixed with the rust underneath it as well. On the running plate there's a little bit of condensation there, here and there, and also more importantly on the tender there's an overfill of water, which looks good, I think, where they've obviously the fireman's watered up and a little bit of spillage there, but that will dry off on the journey, I'm sure. And I also replaced the firebox glow effect on this loco. There was a red grain of wheat bulb that I put in there a good while ago, but I wasn't really happy with the effect because obviously a roaring fire isn't actually bright red. It's actually an orange to white colour. The term white hot, if you ever look inside a firebox of a steam loco that's going at full strength and the fireman's got the fire really hot, you'll get a glow off the fire. Also, you won't see it on the model obviously, but with my model I've given that whitish glow effect with a little bit of orange paint on the end of the bulb, and you'll see the effect. It looks much better, I think. Anyway, the B1 is over on shed underneath there, simmering away. I'll bring it out in a minute. I also added the same water effect on various spots of that loco. We'll have a look at that in a minute. It's got some vans there to pick up today, so we'll get those in a while. And in the meantime, let's get some trains running. So grab yourself a beverage of your choice, sit back and enjoy the video. So now we've got the B1 in charge of that express train. That's a proper Great Eastern train now. That's a Liverpool Street to Norwich job, I think. Superb. Yeah, this B1 is actually running a little bit better because it was derailing on those outer curves, and I found out why, because basically there was two things. The leading tender wheel, the back-to-back needed sorting out on it, which is the gauge between the inner edge of each rail, and also I added some additional lead weight inside the tender, so it's reasonably heavy now, so it's not loosey-goosey everywhere. But again, it makes me so cross that Bachmann don't sort these simple things out. More so, Hornby have got a habit of putting tender locos with a tender these days is very flimsy. There's hardly no weight in it, and it slops all about over the place, and it's quite easy to derail if you're not careful. But a little simple fix that you can do at home, very, very easy. Just put some lead weight in there, weight it down inside slightly, and you've got an engine that's good to go now. So this poor old B1 is a Stratford engine, we'll pretend, and its last few months of operation. It's 1961 on the Great Eastern Main Line, somewhere en route from London Liverpool Street down Main Line to Norwich, and it's in its last few months of operation, hence the grimy, grubby condition. Brilliant, look at that. I know the A4 Merlin that I weathered that you saw earlier running, and that I've done videos about, out of the two engines, I'm going to say this is probably my favourite one that's weathered. It does look the part. I'm going to slow it down. Look at that. Bring it to a stand. That does look so much better, especially behind that rake of Vex Gresley coaches and its current condition as well. It really does look the part. I'm very happy with that. And look what's come out to play on track number 2. It's the Dapol 14XX. There she goes. I do love that little engine. And I said I was going to weather it, but I'm not. There's no way I'm touching that. I love it in its jet black finish. And the B1 has been slowed down slightly, which makes it even nicer now, because it's galloping around a nice, well, not galloping, trotting around, I would say, on my little railway today. You'll need to tune into the channel next week, guys, because in the post on the way is another 14XX. It's another Dapol one, and I got it at a reasonable price on eBay because I want it for the chassis and everything below the body, because I have plans to use the chassis to bring back to life 1401, the Titfield Thunderbolt one that's sitting in the box up in my collection up there. That crappy Hornby one that doesn't work anymore. I'm going to basically put the body on the new Dapol, or the decent Dapol 14XX chassis that I've got coming. It's a Great Western coloured Dapol 14XX, which is a nice loco, but I just want to get rid of the Great Western body and put the 1401 fictitious Titfield loco on top, so we can get that running as well, hopefully with this sort of result. Anyway, that's a project I'm going to do. Also, in the mail, or in the post these days, I don't know what you call it, the mail or the post, but I know around my way the service is getting pretty bad. But hopefully it should turn up. I've got some electrically conductive paint, some that stuff you can paint on circuit boards and it conducts electricity, as it says on the tin. I'm going to basically have a go at sorting out these plastic inseal frogs, and on my crossing as well. Not all of it, because we want to keep the thing insulated from the next section, but just enough to reduce that gap so we don't have any stalling or stoppages on there from short wheelbase locos. So that's another little project I'm going to be doing. And yeah, that's it. I've also got some more weathering powder I've had to order, because I bought some smoke effect black weathering powder from Humbrol, not directly from Humbrol but from an eBay seller, and it's taken just on 3 weeks to Lincoln will come in the post. And I contacted the seller on eBay and they said, oh I've sent it out, and I realised when they sent it out it was well over a week after I'd paid the person, and they didn't say they'd gone on holiday or anything like that, which was a bit cheeky. So anyway, in the meantime, I've gone on to Amazon and I found myself same thing, so that's coming as well. So either way, I'm going to get it and do a bit more weathering. But in the meantime, there's our happy little 14XX running around the railway today. Yeah, she's a little bit stuttery on those crossings, because purely it's a short wheelbase little loco, and again those and the 040s are notorious for stalling on plastic points, but we're going to overcome that hopefully with some liquid electrical paint. Still a nice engine though, isn't it? There she goes. And the B1 is the master of its work. Look at that. No problem at all. I don't think this one should be scrapped personally. I think the Stratford should save it. But sadly, in reality, Stratford didn't save him. There was no... I think there was a preserved 1 or 2 locos that got saved at Stratford. I think there was a D49, possibly. I know Britannia, there was 1 or 2 Britannias that were saved, but there was an N7 and there was 1 or 2 of the locos, Stratford engines, but majority of them, it's quite sad when you think about it. Again, someone needs to invent a time machine so we can go back in time and see these things for real. I know by 1962 at Stratford shed in East London, 30A shed, there was rows and rows and rows of condemned steam engines all waiting to be cut up. Very, very sad indeed. It's like no one thought to preserve them in those days. Right. Now the driver of the B1 has put the loco over in the side in there because it's got a hot axle box. So it's been taken off that train and it's been put over on the side in there to the fitter to come up from the depot across the road there and have a little look. But in the meantime, the 14XX is feeling a little bit brave. So it wants a shot at the title. Why not? to the driver, to the fireman. There's the tools over there. You know what to do, son. Yep, another nose and mouthful of clinker. Well, this 14XX is still chugging around the railway today, and I'm going to leave you with this shot as it goes round and round and round and round. Clocking up fictitious miles as it goes. But hey, look how sweetly it runs. You know, and I've slowed it right down to quite a nice speed now. And it's quite a nice little runner now. And with that, I will say goodbye, and thank you very much for joining me in the video today. Sorry it couldn't be any longer, but I did try and keep it all steam at least. I know there's lots of steam fans out there. If you want to see some diesel running on the layout next week or whenever, give me a shout, give me a comment, and I'll try and make that happen. In the meantime, like I said, I've got quite a few little projects I'm going to undertake on the railway in the future, in the next coming weeks or so. So do stay tuned for those updates as and when I do them, and I will hopefully get another 14XX, which is the 14.01, the fictitious Tickfil Thunderbolt one from the set that needs putting back together. Hopefully I will bring that back from the dead and get her running on the layout, and once she runs like this, I'm really going to go to town with the weathering on it, as per Ealing Comedy Films version of the weathering on it. Anyway, with that, have a lovely day or lovely weekend, and I'm going to say goodbye. And it's the school holidays over here in England. My daughter just broke up from school yesterday, so I've got a whole month with her and do some things. And also I'm going to be going down to the Swanage Railway on the 23rd of August next month, in a couple of weeks time, so definitely stay tuned for some live puff action, and I'll see you then. In the meantime, goodbye now, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.